your ultimate guide to visiting the Statue of Liberty, including the Crown. Hi, I'm Megan Murad, a licensed New York City tour guide, and I give tours of the Statue of Liberty 3 or 4 times a week. So I wanted to share with you my tips and tricks for having your very best Statue of Liberty experience, as well as sharing some fun facts and secrets of the island. But before we get started, make sure that you click subscribe so you never miss a New York Minute.
Yeah, muffin talk. Ooh, muffin talk. Muffin talks, bringing healing to those who need it most.
The first thing that you need to do is you need to buy a ticket. Now there's only one company that will actually take you to Liberty Island. That's the island that the Statue of Liberty is on. That one company is Statue City Cruises. I'm going to put the link to their company where you can buy the tickets in the comments below. I would recommend that you buy tickets in advance through Statue City Cruises. And this is the only way that you're going to be able to really get a ticket to the pedestal or the crown of the Statue of Liberty, because they usually sell out months in advance. If you use an online travel agent such as Get Your Guide or Viator, they actually do not sell tickets to the pedestal or the crown. So just know that. Now, if you don't want to buy your tickets in advance, you can actually buy them on site. So this is Castle Clinton. Castle Clinton is a really interesting structure. It's named for everyone's favorite Clinton, DeWitt Clinton. Who's DeWitt Clinton, you might ask? Well, it was DeWitt Clinton's idea to put Manhattan on the grid system. So the reason why all of our street numbers make sense is because of DeWitt Clinton. Now, Castle Clinton used to be military fortifications for the War of 1812. Today, it's not military fortifications. If you go in here, there's a little museum. We can head on in here. There's a little museum that talks about the different uses that Castle Clinton has had, including Castle Garden, which featured the very first outdoor beer garden in New York City. And then if we head out of the museum, we have the ticket kiosk. Now we're filming on a weekday in October. It's not incredibly sunny, as you can tell, so there's not really a line to get your tickets here. But the reason why I recommend purchasing your tickets in advance is because this line in peak season, like height of summertime or Thanksgiving or Christmas, can actually go all the way through these stanchions and out all the way around Castle Clinton. So you're going to save yourself a lot of time. You can skip the line, if you will, by purchasing ahead of time. This is very important. If you did buy a Crown Reserve ticket, and only a Crown Reserve ticket, you do need to come here to the ticket kiosk. When you buy your ticket, you're going to get a QR code. You're going to go to, it's usually ticket gate 6, which is kind of around the corner. So you get your own special line. You don't have to wait in whatever craziness is happening over there. And they are going to give you a physical ticket, but more importantly, they're also going to give you this pink wristband. This pink wristband is what's going to allow you to go up to the crown. And it does say only cameras, phone, prescription, water, and no bags. We're gonna talk more about that when we get to Liberty Island. So if you have a Crown Reserve, you have to come here. If you have grounds only or pedestal, you can go right to the line.
Because navigating the website can be a little tricky, let me walk you through it. On the website, you will be able to select Crown Reserve, Pedestal Reserve, General Admission, and the Ellis Island Hard Hat Tour. You must actually make your selection while you're buying your tickets. Once you're on the island, there are no tickets to buy. I'm going to select Crown Reserve. Next, you will select the date that you want to visit. Click Book Now. You will then have a choice of departing from New Jersey or New York. You must decide where you want to depart from now. Most people select New York, and for the video, since I live in Manhattan, I will select New York. Click View Details, and a calendar will pop up where you will select your date again. Once you select your date, you can select your time as well. It will tell you how many tickets are remaining. Select the quantity of tickets you want to buy and hit Continue. For the crown, you will also need to enter the name of the lead traveler, in this case, me. When you pick up your tickets, the lead traveler will need to show ID. Next, click Checkout Now and enter your information.
Once you have your tickets, it's important to know what to bring and what not to bring when you visit the Statue of Liberty, because there is a long list of prohibited items. So check the Statue City Cruises website for the long list of prohibited items. But in general, things such as weapons, amplifiers, including radios, aren't allowed, ice skates, rollerblades, all not allowed on the island. So you're going to want to leave those at home. In terms of what to bring, do know that it's often very windy, as you can probably tell, down here at the Battery. So especially as the temperatures drop, I tend to say dress for about 10 degrees cooler than what the weather says. I've given so many tours where people are here shivering and you want to be warm so you can have your best Statue of Liberty experience. The other thing is, if you are going up into the pedestal or you are going up into the crown, there are a lot of stairs, so you're going to want to wear comfy shoes. So literally wear your most comfortable shoes and clothes so that you can be prepared to climb. You bought your tickets, you packed your bag. Now where do you go? Well, there are two places that you can get Statue City cruises from. You can either go to Battery Park at our good friend Castle Clinton, and you'll see right next to Castle Clinton there are these blue umbrellas. That's where we're soon going to go through security. Now the second place that you can pick up the boat to go to Liberty Island is actually in New Jersey. You'll see a red brick building way out in the harbor. That is the old Central New Jersey train terminal. That is where you can get Statue City cruises from Jersey City, New Jersey. Now do remember, you have to take a boat. You cannot drive, you cannot walk, you have to take Statue City cruises. I have physical tickets because I'm going up to the Crown. It's possible that you'll just have a QR code on your phone. We're now going to get into line to go to airport security. You have to go through airport style security to get onto the boat. That's why you're not allowed to bring weapons. To go on into line, we're going to enter through these blue umbrellas. We're going to show our ticket to this lovely gentleman. Thank you. It's at these second umbrellas that they're actually going to scan our tickets.
All right. Okay. You have your badge, man? Yeah, your badge? Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Now we're going to go to this white tent. This white tent is the security screening. We're obviously not allowed to film in security screening, so I'll see you on the other side. I have made it through airport style security. So we're now going to exit the security building. We're going to exit everything that has a roof. And then we're going to get into a clump. Here's the thing. When you're getting on the boats to go to Liberty Island, they do not believe in lines. There is no line. If you have inner rage, this is your chance to get it out. Fill in all the empty space. If you don't fill in that empty space, somebody else will. So we're gonna be in a clump. We get our first view of Lady Liberty way out in the harbor. Hi, Lady Liberty. We're gonna get up nice and close. And as we're looking at the boat, now is a good time to start thinking about your strategy. Where do you want to sit on this boat? Well, I'm going to tell you that the side of the boat that is the closest to land, that's the side that you want to be on, because the boat is going to depart and it's going to turn around. So as it approaches the Statue of Liberty, it's the side of the boat closest to land that's going to get that fabulous view of the Statue of Liberty. Now there are 3 levels of the boat. Most people want to race up to the top. That is indeed where you're probably going to get the best pictures. The second level does have a front and a back that's all outdoors. And then center of that is indoors. So you can still get a great view and avoid the crazy wind. And then there's the lowest level. So as you see, it's a clump. So we can literally keep going forward. So let's try to go to the top.
Well, you can move all the way forward. There's no line.
See, it's a clump. There's no line. Okay, You do have to be careful. Right now we have very high tide, so the ramp is very, very slanted. This is like, you know, it's not the time to be brave. You want to hold on to that railing. Got to be careful. There's a huge step here, so you want to be careful of the step. And then I'm going to take us all the way around. Now, if you're on the lower level, left-hand side. Here we have the steps. This is the second level, but we're going up to the top. You want to be, remember, side of the boat facing land. Now we have these lovely seats that we can sit down on, but as this boat gets more and more crowded, everybody's going to stand. So if you want to get that best view, you really want to guard your wall space. So we're going to wait for them to board the boat. It takes them usually about 10 minutes to board the boat, and then we will depart. It takes about 10 minutes to get to Liberty Island. So see you there. We are on Statue City Cruises, heading towards the Statue of Liberty. As you can see, it is very windy. I brought an extra jacket because I knew it was going to be really windy and very cold on the boat. As we head out, we have the Hudson River. Then we have the great state of New Jersey, birthplace of M&M candies. If you look up ahead of us, you'll see a red brick building with these green dome tops. That is Ellis Island. That is the Ellis Island Museum that you are looking at. Now this boat, every single Statue City Cruises boat makes two different stops. It stops at Liberty Island. If it's departing from Manhattan, it goes to Liberty Island and then Ellis Island back to Battery Park. If it's departing from New Jersey, it goes to Ellis Island, Liberty Island, back to New Jersey. Today we are just focusing on the Statue of Liberty, but if you wanted to, it makes a really nice pairing to go to the Statue of Liberty, spend an hour or two on Liberty Island, and then go to Ellis Island. I could seriously spend 5 hours in the Ellis Island Museum. We'll do a different video on that. But now we're just going to enjoy the view. No matter how many times I see the Statue of Liberty, I always get excited. This is the view that we all came here for. And you can see now everybody is standing on the wall. That always happens. That's why you want to claim your spot on the wall as we go by the statue. To head down a little bit early. Excuse me, please. Excuse me, thank you. Because if you wait too long, then you have to wait a very long time to get off the boat. It can take up to 15 minutes to unload the boat. So I'm gonna start to head down as soon as I see the boat curving. Excuse me, please. So we're gonna head down to the bottom level. Something I did not mention before, there are bathrooms on the boat and a concession stand. So if you're hungry, you can get some pretzels, some hot dogs. But look at this, because we started to head down early, we're gonna wait right by the door here and we'll be one of the very first people off the boat. Little pro tip from a tour guide who comes here a lot. Yeah, we're gonna start to see everyone coming ready to get off the boat. We have a couple minutes until we dock, so we're just gonna hang tight. So here they are opening the doors. We have to be very careful because it is high tide, so we'll notice a huge angle. We're gonna be careful. First people off the boat. So now we're gonna walk all the way down this dock. There we can see the back of the Statue of Liberty. We can see her. Here we are on Liberty Island. I, of course, always enjoy giving tours to people of Liberty Island, you can book a tour with me. I'll put the link in the comments. But if you don't want to come with a tour guide, it is interesting to note that you can pick up free audio tours. They also come in a bunch of different languages. So if English isn't your first language and you want to learn a lot of information about the statue, these audio tours are a great option. Also, we're heading towards that flagpole. That flagpole, there is a brown sign. It's kind of hard to see from here, but it will list times that park rangers give free tours of Liberty Island. So there's a couple of different ways that you can explore the island with a guide. When you get to Liberty Island, one of the first things you're going to notice is this giant flagpole. In many ways, it's a really great meeting spot because you can see the boats. There's also a lot of things that you can see from this flagpole. So for example, you can see the Statue of Liberty's foot. I always think it's cool to see the Statue of Liberty's foot. You see her face in all the movies, but this is one of the only places where you get to see her foot. And then you see the Statue of Liberty Museum. We're going to explore the Statue of Liberty Museum in a little bit. You can also go to the top of the Statue of Liberty Museum and get another view of the Statue of Liberty's foot, but it's just elevated. From the flagpole, looking at the Statue of Liberty's foot, we are going to head to the place where we enter for the crown. So we're going to walk towards her foot, and we're going to veer slightly to the left. Something to notice as we walk towards the Statue of Liberty. We have the statue, we have the pedestal, and then there's this strange star-shaped structure underneath the pedestal. That's actually an old military fort. It's called Fort Wood. That might come into play a little bit later. We'll find out. When we get to the base of Fort Wood, you have the choice to go right or to go left. To go to the crown, you're going to go left. Now this is something we're going to witness. We're going to witness people talking to that park ranger. Now they're leaving. They were probably hoping to go to the pedestal or to the crown, and they didn't know that you had to purchase those tickets in advance when you purchase your initial ticket to go on to Statue City cruises. Now you're not going to make that mistake because you watch this video and you know. However, when we get to this line, there's a lot of people in front of it now, but you will see that there's this sign. The sign tells us what is not allowed. One of the things that's not allowed, backpacks. I have a backpack. Oh no, what am I going to do? Well, whereas the initial screening, there was no lockers, there are lockers here. Here's how the lockers work. Now there's a lot of lockers. You want to find a locker that does not say lost key. So here we have a locker that has a key on it. This is locker 276. What you're going to do is you're going to put your backpack or whatever other item you have that's not allowed into the pedestal in there. Now, if you look here, there is a little place to put your quarter. So you want to bring a quarter. They all cost a quarter. So you're going to put your key in there, and then you're going to turn the key. When you're done visiting the crown or the pedestal, you open it and look, you get your quarter back. Note, when you leave your backpack here to go up to the pedestal or the crown, remember to take the key with you. Don't leave the key in here. I also like to take a photo of the number of the locker that I'm using so that I don't forget. So when you go up, take the key with you. When you come back to retrieve your things, take your quarter with you. We've put our things in our locker. We kept with us our tickets because we do need these tickets to go up to the crown, and of course our wristbands. And we're going to head over to where the park rangers are. We're going to go through airport style security again, so we're not going to film. So we'll see you in the pedestal. We made it through security and we're going to enter the pedestal. Technically we're entering Fort Wood, the old military fort. Now they are currently doing a restoration on Fort Wood. That's why you see all the scaffolding. If you're watching this video a few years from now, you might not see this scaffolding. But this is a beautiful room. I've not been in here since they opened the museum. And look at these glorious doors. Going to enter Fort Wood. While we're here, this room used to house the original torch that she held. That torch was taken down in the 1980s, was replaced with a new torch. That torch is currently in the museum, but that's what the circle was, where her torch used to be. Now from here, we're gonna go up to the top of the pedestal. If you look up there, it says to pedestal and crown. There's a little bit of a line, so if you come with me here, I find that a mistake that people make when they're visiting the Statue of Liberty is insisting on using the elevator. The elevator only holds 4 people at a time. This line can sometimes literally go outside of the pedestal. So we have a line here, but if we keep going this way, we have the stairs. Before we go up these stairs, there is a little bit of a museum in the pedestal that you can visit. Now, my personal tour guide recommendation is to not spend too much time in this museum because, as you can see, the artifacts are currently cardboard cutouts. That's because the artifacts from the Pedestal Museum were removed and they were put onto the Statue of Liberty Museum that is open to everybody, so you don't need a special ticket to go in there. There is one item, however, in this museum that I think is worth the trip and spending a lot of time on, and that is this plaque. So this is the new Colossus. It's a poem that was written by Emma Lazarus to help raise funds for the Statue of Liberty pedestal. Now this plaque was actually presented in 1903, and a lot of people, I think, expect it to be on the outside of the pedestal. It's actually inside of the pedestal in this museum. If you go into the museum outside of the pedestal, they have a replica, a recreation of it. We're going to take the stairs up to the top of the pedestal. All 215 of them. When we're done, we'll be able to eat all the pizza that we want in New York City. We made it to the top of the pedestal, and now we're looking up the Statue of Liberty's skirt. We made it to the top of the pedestal. I earned my New York City pizza. One of the most fun things for me about the pedestal is when you're standing here, you can look up the Statue of Liberty's skirt. Now, I don't normally condone looking up a lady's skirt, but here we actually get to see how Gustave Eiffel created a metal infrastructure, or metal bones, if you will, to hold up the Statue of Liberty. So if you get to the top of the pedestal, make sure that you look up. You can also go outside and explore the top of the pedestal. For my personal money, I prefer the observation decks like Empire State Building, Top of the Rock, One World Observatory, Edge, and Summit. But it still is really cool to be at the top of the pedestal looking down. If you look straight down, you can see the top of Fort Wood, that military fort. And from here, we're looking at Staten Island and Brooklyn. We're not going to spend too much time up here, but if you do get pedestal tickets and not crown, you do get to explore all of the outdoor spaces. But what I want to do right now is go back into the pedestal and showcase my wristband and go to the crown. If you're going to the crown, you want to find the park ranger, and you're going to show him your pink wristband. We have 162 stairs to get to the top of the crown. We have these little itty bitty staircases, and they do mention that if you're over 6 feet tall, you're probably gonna have to crouch or lean. Fortunately, I'm not over 6 feet tall. They also suggested that every 15 steps that we stop, we take photos, we enjoy the inside infrastructure of the statue, and make sure that we're not out of breath or hot and panting when we get up there, so we get great photos. So up we go. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. This is so exciting. Ah! I haven't been to the crown since I was about 10 years old. We have this, here they do mention the low clearance. So, I know. Oh, you really can see the folds of her skirt. You can see the folds of her skirt. You can see her infrastructure, her bones. You can see how she's pieced together like IKEA furniture. She came here in over 300 separate boxes before being assembled like IKEA furniture. And I just want to be quiet for a minute so you can hear the sounds. We're about halfway up, I think. We have this landing. I'm not gonna lie, that staircase is very small and it winds around. So if you're someone who is afraid of heights, if you're claustrophobic, if you get dizzy easily, this might not be the first choice of an activity for you. But it's also just really cool to come out and look at this copper. Also, just a fun fact, as you're looking at this copper from here, I think it looks very sturdy. And it is sturdy, it's been here since 1886, but the thickness of that copper is just the thickness of 2 pennies stacked on top of one another. It's very, very thin. And this is one of the only places that you get that view. All right, we have 90 stairs left to go. I just wanted to showcase, these are the stairs, and like this is my foot and the stair. So the stair doesn't even really fit my whole foot on it. You can see that it is a little bit rainy. You might be able to hear that it's really windy. I can actually feel it shaking. I'm gonna ask the park rangers. Am I crazy? Do I feel it shaking? Yes, it is shaking. It's cool, we're safe. She's been standing here since 1886. We look out and we see Brooklyn out in the distance. But I'm gonna show you one of the coolest things that you can see. One of the coolest things that you can see from the crown is actually the arm that holds up the torch. So you can see her right arm and you can see the bottom of the torch. It's such a unique view. Now, a lot of people will ask me, can you visit the torch? And you have not been able to visit the torch since 1916. I'm always amazed when I have a guest on a tour that tells me that they remember visiting the torch. And I'm like, you look really, really good for being over 110 years old. That is wild. So here we have the view of, you can see the Verrazano Narrows Bridge way out in the distance. You have Staten Island on the right, Brooklyn on the left. Another really cool thing that you can see from here is you actually see her hair. Look at these waves. You never get to see like the underside of hair. The copper of the Statue of Liberty is really thin. A lot of people don't believe me that it's only the thickness of 2 pennies, but here we can actually feel it. You can reach out and hold it and see how thin that copper is. And this is really maybe the only place that we as tourists can actually feel that. Another thing to note is there are park rangers up here. You can ask them questions. You can ask them what their favorite fun facts are. You can ask them questions about visiting Statue of Liberty and Liberty Island. So make sure that you take advantage of that resource. We're going back down. I'm told it's easier. They suggested sideways. So here we go. Heading down this spiral staircase. Heading back down. It's supposed to be easier than going up. We will find out. Walking down, you really see why they tell you if you are over 6 feet tall, you're going to want to kneel down. We are going down the stairs. The stairs are very small, so they really suggest that you walk sideways. You can kind of look down, see her insides again. We're going to continue to head down. We made it down from the crown. We're back at the top of the pedestal. One of the things the park rangers pointed out was that this staircase here is the original staircase from 1886. We were taking a newer staircase, but you can still see the original staircase here. If we look up through this glass, we can see where we were walking a little bit earlier. And then I'm going to take this moment, now that we've gone up to the crown, to go out and enjoy a bit of the pedestal. This pedestal view, we're looking at New Jersey. We're looking up. There's her torch. It's a little rainy. Oh, we have somebody there, so maybe if we walk around this way.
Traffic. Yep.
Yes, there's not. No one would describe this as spacious. she's a very tall lady, but the pedestal is not incredibly spacious. We can see Ellis Island off in the distance. We can see One World. This is personally, the north side is my favorite side for getting a view, because look at that beautiful Manhattan skyline. And that's definitely something that if you come to visit the Statue of Liberty, whether you're just on the grounds, whether you go to the top of the pedestal, you want to make sure that you get a photo and a view of that skyline. We're going to now head down from the top of the pedestal to the next level. It's level 3P where we're going to exit. So we're going to exit here. And you think you're going to be at ground level, but you're actually not. We're actually now approaching the top of Fort Wood. So if we head down this staircase, I'm going to head down these staircases. Right now, we are walking on top of an old military fort. This is the top of Fort Wood. Of course, right now they are undergoing that restoration, but I want to walk around. If we look up, you can see that we're kind of in the back of the statue, we're kind of on the side. I'm going to walk to the front, and that's where we're going to get the best photos. This is the eastern side of Fort Wood. Right now there's restoration. If you were to go all the way to that little point over there, that, in my opinion, is the best place to take photos of the statue. As it is, if you go right to these floodlights and you turn around and you look up, here you actually get a really good view of the Statue of Liberty's face. Now, if you wanted to actually take a photo of your friends, you would have your friends stand here, and then you would probably have to actually lie down on the ground to get that shot. It takes work, but you can get a good shot for your Christmas cards. We've walked back around to the back of the statue. We see these lovely signs that say exit. We're going to re-enter the pedestal, and we're going to make our way all the way down. Now we're back in that main room. You can take the elevator down as well. I know that for some people, going down is actually harder than going up. We're now back in that main room that we entered in. So we're gonna go right back out the way that we came in. We're just gonna walk back and retrieve our things from the lockers. We've got our backpacks back. I put on my jacket because it got a little cold. The weather is going to deteriorate pretty fast today, but I want to show you that after you visit the Crown, after you visit the Pedestal, you really do want to go around on the ground to the front of the Statue of Liberty and get a photo there. In my opinion, if you want to get a photo with the statue, that's going to be the best place on the island to do it, from the ground level. I'm at the front of the Statue of Liberty. For me, I like to stand on this little wall. I like to be so cheesy, I love it. I pretend to hold her tablet, I pretend to hold her torch, and I take a photo. In general, the best photos I have found are taken if you kind of sit down or kneel down. That's the best way of getting you and her torch in the photo. But you can see, even in the rain, lots of people are still here taking their photos. Now we're going to circle back around the statue, get that beautiful view of the skyline, and we're going to head to the Statue of Liberty Museum. We got to Liberty Island, we went into the Pedestal, we went into the Crown, we went to the top of Fort Wood, we went in front of the statue on the ground level to take photos. Now we have to go inside of the Statue of Liberty Museum. Heading into the Statue of Liberty Museum, we're gonna go through. The first thing that I recommend doing when you go to the museum is watching the movie. So there's a movie in 22 seconds. So let's go and watch a little bit of this movie.
Edouard de Laboulaye, a professor of constitutional law and history, and a great admirer of American liberty, is inspired by news that slavery in the United States has been abolished. The Civil War is over. To Laboulaye, it seems that finally America is fully committed to its founding ideals of human liberty and equality. A team of skilled artisans begin to create a statue that will be 151 feet tall. They make thousands of measurements in order to fashion accurate, full-scale plaster casts of the statue's individual parts, together like gigantic puzzle pieces. The epic puzzle takes more than 5 years to complete. Her feet, but the legacy of slavery still very real in 1886 as the statue is dedicated. Human justice and equality guaranteed by the Constitution, but only a minority of Americans are allowed to vote. In the New York Harbor, she quickly becomes an icon for America and begins to gather layers of meaning as the United States rises to power and prominence in the world.
After watching the movie in the museum, there are several rooms that you can explore that will talk about the construction of the statue, funding the statue. This area talks about a technique called repoussé, which is how they actually molded the copper. Here they have a model of her foot, so you can get a kind of up-close view of what the outside of her foot would look like, see how she's actually put together kind of like a patchwork quilt. But I'm going to take you to my favorite part of the museum right now. This is my favorite room in the Statue of Liberty Museum, because in this room you see the original torch that the Statue of Liberty held. The torch that she holds today, not her original torch. Her original torch, which we see right here, was replaced in the 1980s. And you can see that there are some differences between this torch and the original torch, or between the original torch and the torch she's holding today. The torch that she's holding today is covered in 24 karat gold, where this torch looks more like an oil lamp. Some people described it as looking like a genie lamp. The Statue of Liberty was actually the very first electric lighthouse in the United States. 1886, electricity wasn't perfected. So today her torch is much, much brighter. And then there's another fun thing to see if we circle around over here. Now this is not her original face, but this is a life-size model of her face. And this is where you can fulfill your lifelong dream of getting a photo of yourself picking the Statue of Liberty's nose. After you visit the Statue of Liberty Museum, then you can visit the Gift Pavilion or the cafe. Let's go check out the Gift Pavilion. The detail of this Gift Pavilion, look at the handles. It's the torch. This Gift Pavilion has everything. I'm always amazed at how many things. Oh, this is really soft. I like this. That's actually really, really soft. I like their t-shirts. I think they actually have good t-shirts. When it rains, you see lots of people buying ponchos here as well. So it's very comprehensive. People like to collect these coins, so they have that in the gift shop. They do also have a kind of creepy looking sculpture of, this is supposed to be Bartholdi. He does not look like the photos of Bartholdi that I know. And then I want to show you one of the funniest things here in the gift shop.
Maybe it's a Bartholdi coin.
Look at these. Look at this. Look at this. Okay, it's really soft. It's really, really soft and squishy. Oh my goodness. What is this, a pink unicorn? Is it a pink narwhal? Whatever it is, it's amazing. And they're always selling out of these. They're always selling out of the giant stuffed animals of the Statue of Liberty. So that's a little peek at the gift shop. Oh, and the bathrooms are also located in the gift shop, just so you know, not in the cafe, but in the gift shop. Let's now have a look in the Crown Cafe. I will let you know I have eaten many meals here. You know, it's not gourmet, like it's not per se, but the food is actually pretty good. If we look up here, you can see they have lots of options. It's a lot of options that kids would like as well as adults, but they do also do a really great job of catering to different dietary restrictions. They do have options if you're vegan. They do have options if you want to attempt to eat a little bit healthier. And they have some breakfast offerings, and then they also have M&Ms. We have gone up to the Crown, we've gone into the museum, we visited the Gift Pavilion and the cafe, so it's now time to leave Liberty Island. As we leave Liberty Island, we're going back to the dock. There are two boats. There's the boat that goes to New Jersey. It usually docks on the left-hand side. It says ferry departing to Liberty State Park, New Jersey. And then there's the ferry departing to Ellis Island and Battery Park. Now, depending on the time of year, the schedule for these ferries is going to be different. Currently, they're running every 25 minutes, but when you visit, they might be running more frequently or less frequently. There's usually a sign right at the dock where you can see when they depart, so you can plan your trip when you're on the island. I would also suggest going to the Statue City Cruises website to get the ferry schedules before you leave so that you can plan your day accordingly. We're going to go to the end of the dock here and wait for our boat.
Something to note for the busy seasons, you will want to arrive at your boat at least 15 minutes early because the boats can fill up and max out, and then you'll miss that boat and have to wait another 20, 25, 30, even 45 minutes for the next boat.
I'm frequently asked, when is the best time to visit the Statue of Liberty? So I'm going to talk both about the best time of day and then the best time of year. The best time of day is as early as possible. Currently, the earliest boat departs at 9 a.m., so I would recommend going at 9 a.m. As the day gets later and later and later, the crowds tend to build, so you might end up waiting for more than one boat before you can get on it. Also, the islands close. They close at different times of year, but they close relatively early. I think the latest they close is around 5 or 5:30. So you want to give yourself enough time to enjoy the island. So this is definitely an early morning activity. In terms of the time of year, I mean, Right now it is the middle of October and there's no crowds. It's amazing, no crowds. In the middle of the summertime, at Thanksgiving, at Christmas, I've had to wait as long, I'm not even joking, I've had to wait 2.5 hours to get onto the boat from Battery Park. So if you want to avoid the crowds, October is a great time. The busiest times are going to be spring, because we get a lot of student groups that are coming in the springtime, the height of the summer season, like around 4th of July, and then Thanksgiving and Christmas. And there's a really cool energy then, but if you want to avoid the crowds, you want to go at different times. I also think that if you go in the middle of the winter time, it might be really cold, but you're going to have the island almost entirely to yourselves. So what do you think? When would you visit the statue? Let me know in the comments. We're getting back onto the boat now. I think we're going to aim for the second level because we're going to dock at Ellis and then Battery Park. So we want to be warm but still get a good view. The boat that departs Liberty Island is going to make a stop. It's going to stop at Ellis Island, and then from Ellis Island it's going to go to Battery Park. Today we're not personally getting off at Ellis Island, but it is something that a lot of people like to do. It makes a really wonderful pairing, seeing Statue of Liberty and Ellis Island. For the ride back, we chose to sit on the second level because it's enclosed, but we're still going to get a really great view. Getting off of the boat, just timing wise, it took us about 40 minutes on the boat to get from Liberty Island back to Battery Park. We're gonna head down off the ramp and we end up in Battery Park. How long should you allow to visit the Statue of Liberty? In general, if you're just visiting the grounds, I would say from start to finish, that's starting at Battery Park and then ending back at Battery Park, allow at least 3 hours if you're only doing Liberty Island. The Crown and the Pedestal does add a little bit of time, so then I would say allow 4 hours. If you're going to include Ellis Island on that trip, I would say you have to add at least another hour, if not 2 hours, to explore Ellis Island. It is important to note that if you have a tight time schedule, that Statue of Liberty probably should not be on your itinerary for that day. Depending on how the ferries are running, depending how crowds are, it might take even longer to do the whole loop from Battery Park to Battery Park. A lot of guests will say like, oh, I'm just gonna do it in 2 hours. I have never seen anybody visit the Statue of Liberty in just 2 hours. You really are going to have to allow at least 3, if not 4, 5, 6. It's an all-day event. And that's another reason why you want to start early in the day. Now that we're back at Battery Park, let's talk about, is it worth it to actually visit the Statue of Liberty on Liberty Island? And is it worth all of the advanced planning that is required for visiting the Pedestal and visiting the Crown? In terms of whether or not it's important to you, that's a question that you have to really ask yourself. Do you want to spend 4, 5, 6 hours of the day visiting the island? Is it really important to you to be inside of the statue? If it is, then absolutely nothing can replace that. If you're going to try to look out of the Crown for a spectacular view, I personally think that the best views are from the New York City observation decks, but it is really cool to look out of her crown and see her torch. Now, my personal opinion about whether or not it's worth it is absolutely something that everybody who loves New York City and loves the Statue of Liberty should do. I visit the Statue of Liberty all the time. And this was the first time since I was 10 years old actually being inside of the statue. And it was mind-blowing how cool it was to see every fold of her skirt, every curl of her hair from inside. It's the actual object that was put there on October 28th, 1886. It is wild to experience that. I am so thankful that I was able to get a ticket. And if you love the Statue of Liberty, I would say you definitely want to plan ahead. Now, the Crown tickets were just re-released, so I don't know how it's going to be, but in the past, you've had to reserve those Crown tickets up to 3 months in advance. So that's going to be a bucket list item that you're really going to want to check for when you're planning your trip early on. And remember, you can only buy those tickets, Statue Cruises. Remember, you can only buy those tickets by booking through Statue City Cruises. Also, like a hotel concierge could help you, but if you go to an online travel agent like Viator and get your guide, you're not going to have the option to go up to the Pedestal or the Crown. And I don't want you to miss out on a cool experience. So make sure that you go to Statue City Cruises website. Again, it'll be in the comments so that you can visit the Statue of Liberty Crown. Thank you so much for watching. And if you enjoyed this video, remember to click subscribe. It helps me bring you more videos like this.